first fish from behind you?
Salty.
Oh yeah. Okay, go forward.
Day 8, Friday, 26th of October. An uneventful day at sea today, but an uneventful day is a good day. We are 550 nautical miles away from Easter Island, and we are due to arrive early Monday morning. Today I learnt about flying fish. In the morning we quite often find them lying on the deck, but they've hit the boat in the night. I also did some chart work and some weather work today with Simon. I learnt how to read the weather forecast and how to plot a course on the paper charts. However, I found the fish more interesting.
But you'll sometimes get massive ones.
Yeah.
And these birds here, going in and out, basically they're hoping that on that one pass that a fish will get, and you can watch them shoot in and grab a fish. But yeah, if you want to go up here, down the other side, you go up and clip on. But ideally you always want to stay on the lee side.
So this is a flying fish, and basically it's in the name and it flies. So when it senses danger or it's being chased by a predator, they accelerate out of the water with their tail, and they glide across the top of the water with these little pictorial wings, and they've adapted these so they can do this to get away from predators. And they can fly or glide up to 200 meters across the top of the water, and at night time they cover the deck of the boat.
So Dan, tell me about this.
Well, yesterday I woke up craving a cake, so today I made a cake.
Perfect. Dan's been cheating. He's left this out all day, mocking us, and now won't even have any. One way to keep the captain happy, and that's to feed him. There you go, Peter.
Ah, wow.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a cake there.
So we are 330 nautical miles off Easter Island, and the rest of the crew are starting to prepare for that by getting paperwork ready and looking at anchored spots for when we arrive. Apart from that, it was a quiet day admiring the expansive vista. Day 10, Sunday the 28th of October.
So this is a low that we've just been through, and these little arrow things are the direction and strength of the wind. So at the moment, if we were going straight across the rum line, we'd be going straight through this, but we are heading to Easter Island, which is there, so we can catch nice warm nice weather we're heading to Easter Island to avoid all this horrible weather down here. And then we are going to wait at Easter Island until this front passes through, and then we're going to follow this front round and down, catch the tailwinds down to Puerto Montt in Chile.
Perfect.
Next week.
120 nautical miles off Easter Island, and we are due to arrive tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, the sea state had taken a slight turn for the worst and had become uncomfortable. According to Simon, this is comfortably rough, so I'm not looking forward to seeing what uncomfortably rough is. Today was also my turn to cook again, and regrettably I had chosen to make a fish pie, what seems to be the most complicated and most impractical dish to make whilst at sea in rough weather. However, after a few hours of struggling and swearing, I got there, and it tasted okay for the first attempt. Day 11, Monday the 29th of October. This morning at 9 AM local time we arrived in Easter Island. Owned by Chile and famous for its massive stonehead carvings, it is also the most remote island in the world, Chile being around 2,000 miles away.
So we're just coming into view of Easter Island.
And how long since we've seen land?
Seen land about 6 days, been on land about 8 days.
When we arrived, we anchored up on the west side of the island next to a cargo ship and a couple of other small sailing vessels. We then had to wait a few hours for the Chilean Armada to come aboard and carry out some border checks. Once that was done, we flagged down one of the nearby boats and they were able to show us how to get ashore with the tender due to there being a lot of surf. When we got ashore, we had a little look around and took a walk to some of the statues that were on our side of the island.
So this is Easter Island, and it's got some pretty funky statues. To build all the statues, the two warring tribes depleted the island of all its resources and consequently died out. And it's a pretty good lesson for modern world.
Pretty amazing water quality.
We hadn't yet decided on the plan for the rest of the journey and when we would be leaving Easter Island. We could leave today and head directly east to avoid the two systems that were coming in and then head south, or we could stay in Easter Island for a few days and wait for the systems to pass. Until that was decided, I started to do some wiring on the fridges.
So Dan, what are you up to?
So at the moment I'm adding in some manual switches for the fridge and freezer compressors, because at the moment they're all automatically controlled, and having these switches allows you to turn them on and off as you wish.
To do this, I had to find the incoming supply to each compressor, reroute the power supply to a new switch and then run a cable out of the switch back down to the compressors. I managed to do this quicker than we thought and was able to get that done in the morning. Since this was done, we decided to leave our anchorage on the west side of the island and take the boat around the island for a scenic tour. The plan was to re-anchor on the east side of the island where we had hoped it would be slightly calmer. Unfortunately, when we got there, it wasn't very suitable, so Simon flew the drone onto the island and got some pretty cool video footage of the statues and the boat since it was too choppy to take the tender ashore.
What are you noticing on this side?
So on the northern side there is absolutely nothing here. No trees, no people, no nothing. Just one little house on its own.
You can definitely see without trees all the soil's just disappeared, and it's just absolutely nothing there.
Absolutely nothing. So when they built the structures out of stone, they also got rid of all the trees, which took out all the nutrients out of the ground, which meant they couldn't grow anything and couldn't live on the island.
We then came to the decision to head east, and we left Easter Island at 7 o'clock in the evening. Day 13, Wednesday, 31st of October. Today was the first full day back at sea and my final leg to Chile. The chart plotter was indicating that we have a total of 2,012 miles to cover, which would take approximately 8 days. When I woke up, I had waves smashing against my cabin window and the boat was rolling from side to side more than I had experienced so far. When I went up to the bridge, it turned out that we had a southeasterly 27 knot wind and a big swell that was passing through. To stop the boat slamming down after each wave, we slowed down and headed east, diagonally across the swell, as this was the most comfortable thing for the boat, other than to turn around. This continued all day up until the end of my watch, so there was not really a lot to do in that day that would not be affected by the rolling of the boat. Day 14, Thursday, the 1st of November. It was relatively calm today and expected to be the calmest of the days to come. We didn't really do much in the day, but it was nice and sunny with very little wind. Thankfully, it was my turn to cook, which was good considering it was a calm day. I learnt my lesson from last time and decided to make something simple, a nice easy stir fry. In the evening, there was an amazing sunset, so we decided to take one of the drones up and get some footage of the boat in the picture. When we had finished filming, we realised the drone wasn't calibrated properly, and it came up with a warning saying maximum distance reach. This put Savin into panic mode, watching the drone hover in the same spot as we calmly motored away from it. We effectively did a man overboard drill, swung the boat around on the spot, consequently throwing Jerry out of bed, and went back to get it. Eventually we did manage to get the drone back, and it makes for some interesting viewing.